Hi guys, it's Rania. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And hi, if you're new, my name is Rania Sulemange. So today I am doing a sit down video with you guys and a sit down chit chat video because there's a lot of things that I would love to talk about. And if you can tell by the title of this video, I'm gonna be finally speaking about my story as a teen mom, my experience for the first year. I'm gonna speak on my pregnancy, my journey, my postpartum, my thoughts, what I like and what I don't like, cons and pros, and all of that stuff. Just things that have been on my mind. I've been wanting to do this video since I've had Eloy, and never really got around to doing it because I wanted a whole year to kind of go past so I can experience and learn a few things. So yeah, let's get into the video. So for those of you who don't know, hi, my name is Rania Sulemange. I'm 22 years old and I found out I was pregnant when I was 20, turning 21. And my pregnancy was not planned at all. It was so not planned. I literally found out I was pregnant when I was 5 months, which is crazy, but if you watch back on my videos and pictures and stuff, I did not have a belly. I was super healthy and normal. I felt, at least I had my period. Like I didn't really have any symptoms, no nothing. And there's a name for it actually. I don't know what the name is, but there was a name that they gave me when I went to do the test that the doctor said, that says, it's not really rare anymore because there's a lot of people that actually go for it, but it is quite rare to kind of be pregnant and not have like early symptoms until way later. Basically, I had really low hormones was what she said, and that is due to low iron, which I had no idea. I always felt like I was healthy, never really went and did like blood tests or anything. I really dreaded those stuff. I never took medication, so even when I have like period cramps, I never took medications. I just don't like them. So I always felt like I was healthy, and yeah, I wasn't on birth control. I wasn't taking anything because I needed to do exams because of like family like conditions and stuff. So I needed to do like a bunch of exams before I was able to be on birth control and to know which birth control I could take. So control because of that, because of like family conditions, that I needed to do certain exams, which I was about to do because I was being active. I had a boyfriend and I was, I was in process to do those stuff. But because of like COVID, a lot of things was affected here in Portugal. We had no doctors at all, nurses, no appointments available, and that ended up affecting me. I'm not gonna say it was like their fault why I got pregnant. Obviously it's my fault. It takes two people to have a baby, but because that was going on in the world, that was going on here in Portugal, I couldn't get appointments to kind of like put myself on birth control. And yeah, and before I could just randomly go on birth control, I needed to do all these exams and stuff, which I was trying to get appointments for, but because of the whole situation with COVID and not having doctors and not being able to get appointments, I was just in waiting lists for like months and I couldn't get appointments at all. And that kind of just, yeah, I just stayed in like waiting lists for long. And my boyfriend at the time, he knew perfectly well about that. He knew, that I was on birth control. He knew that I was trying to get appointments and stuff like that because I've always been so open and I didn't felt like reasons to lie, honestly. Like, he was my boyfriend, so I've always been very truthful with that. So obviously once or twice we didn't do birth protection and little Eloy came into life. And yeah, so fast forward to 5 months. I was actually like a month and a half, I believe, like broken up with him when I found out I was pregnant, but we were really good friends at the time. So I like, even though I was like really scared to be pregnant when I'm about finding out that I was pregnant, my thought at the time was just like, I need to talk to him. And like, it was even like family wise, it was just like, I need to talk to him. So I went, I did, and that was a whole, sorry, Pandora's here, my dog Pandora's here in my room and I didn't even notice, but hey. So yeah, like as I was talking, like I was saying, by the way, I'm being really careful what I'm saying because I am going through a whole court situation thing, and so I don't want to like talk too much or talk too less, but I want to give you like a full picture of everything that kind of like went on my whole experience, because this is the point of the video. But where was I? Like I was saying, you know, my pregnancy was like really hard. I found out in like literally one of the worst times to even find out. Like, I was in process of finishing my course. I was in the middle of exams, so I was stressful with that. I don't even know honestly how I was able to pass my exams, you know, finding out in a day. Like, the way I found out my pregnancy, I would not wish it on anyone because it was way too much information in one day. Like, I found out in one whole day that I was pregnant, that I was having a boy, and then I was 5 months pregnant. Like, all this information in one fucking day, and I was in the middle of like exam week. It was way too much things going on. It was a roller coaster. I don't know how to explain like how I was even able to get home. Like, I had my friends literally take me home because I couldn't speak to anyone. Like, that is how in shock I was. Sounds a little bit dramatic, but that's just how I was. And I was like that for the first like 2 weeks. I couldn't speak to anyone. I would just nod my head. I was really depressed, honestly. Like, I was in such a depressive mode. I couldn't speak to anyone at all. I didn't know what to say, what to do, or you know when you feel like your life is upside down, like everything's about to change. That's how I felt. And I was scared because like I don't know anything about being a mother. I didn't know what life was gonna be for me like for the next year and 18 years. Let's say 18 years, because now I have a whole human to raise, and I didn't have time to think of options or have options because I was already like halfway mid my pregnancy. I was like 5 months in my pregnancy, so I was like already deep, and there was no other options. But I had a few options in mind that was just like in the moment. But obviously I ended up keeping my kid, which was something that a lot of people were mad at me for. A lot of people disagreed with me, family wise and random people, because a lot of people wanted me to give it to adoption. A lot of people had opinions about me aborting it because they wanted me to abort it. And like, first thing first, I hate it when people want to give their opinion on other people's body. Like, it's my body, it's my decision. If I want to keep my kid, I will keep my kid. Your opinion did not matter. I do not give a shit. It just really doesn't matter. And so the fact that grown ass people were like hating on me, calling me a slut, and saying a lot of things because I decided to keep my kid, it is funny to me. But yes, I went through that. I had a really tough pregnancy. I didn't get to enjoy it as much. When I look back at it, all I can think of is the fact that I cried a lot. Like, I was crying myself to sleep. I was under a lot of stress, a lot of last minute preparation, being in the hospital all the time because I had low iron and I had a risky pregnancy. My kid wasn't evolving. Like, it was so much to process in so much little time, which I don't know how I was able to process. And not having the right people like with me while going through that. I had a few people, yeah, family wise, that were there for me, that I love and support me, and that, you know, held me through a lot of it. But it was definitely really hard, and it was the hardest life experience ever. But I did learn a lot. I learned who were my real friends. I learned a lot about family and who really was there for me, and I learned a lot about myself in general. And I also got to see true colors of my ex-boyfriend, my son's dad, which I won't speak upon it because right now we are going through legal and court things, so I can't really speak upon it. And honestly, my kid's gonna watch my videos in the future, and I don't want him see me talk negative about his dad. I will always tell my kid exactly how things went down when he asks and when he's ready to hear it. But right now, I'm not going to talk about it. Maybe in the future I'll make a video and explain more about that if I'm up to it. But honestly, it's such a sensitive topic that I don't really want to speak upon it. So I'm not going to speak up on it. But I do want to mention that, yes, I am a single mom. Yes, I'm doing everything by myself. It's just me and Aloy. And no, we do not need him for anything. And if he decides one day he wants to be a part of his kid's life, I'm not going to be the one to tell him he can't, you know? And if Eloy, after he's 18, decides he wants to get to know his dad and wants his dad to be a part of his life, that's up to him. Like, I did my part, I'm doing my part. I'm not gonna like interfere in that. So I already told what I wanted. In the future, the person chose to do what they wanted in their life, and in the process, that is up to them. So I cannot control what people do, people's reaction, how they react, and how they are. That's one thing that was hard to learn, but I learned is I can only control my actions. I can't control other people's actions and what they're gonna say about me. There's so many people out there that are always gonna talk down on you and talk bad about you, and you can't do nothing about it. You just learn to live on, and that's really was hard to kind of digest, but I learned that. So yeah, that was like my whole pregnancy journey and stuff. I'm really thankful that I had my grandma and my mom to kind of like help me with the whole process as well, because I didn't know anything about being a mom. I had my brother. My mom literally had a child because I have a small baby brother who's only 5 months different from my kid. So a lot of the things I did see watching my brother, I had to babysit him most of the time to kind of like get used to the idea that I was going to be a mom. But obviously nothing is the same than when you have your own kid. Taking care of another baby is not the same than when it comes to your kid. Like, you only really learn once you have your own baby in your hands. And yeah, that was a challenge. That was like a hard challenge, but like I said, I pulled through, and I learned a lot in the time, and with other people with a lot of experience taught me. And yeah, now moving on to the postpartum part of it, which is something that I wanted to talk about mostly in this video, because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about postpartum depression and postpartum in general. I went through a really hard birthing. I think I made a video where I did speak about the fact that I had a really complicated birth. I was almost put into surgery because Eli really did rip me up completely, and I had to sit for an hour and a half having stitches, and I lost a ton of blood. So it was really traumatic. I never thought that birthing a child would kind of cause some trauma, and I went online and I read a bunch of other people like experience and stuff, and a lot of people do go through like hard trauma, not want to ever have a child and stuff ever again because they went through such a traumatic birthing. And for a while I really didn't want to be touched by anyone. I didn't want to be in a hospital ever again because I went through kind of a little bit of a traumatic moment having Eli. Thank God I'm okay, and thank God that Eli was a healthy newborn. But yeah, I had a really complicated birthing. Shout out to the doctors that actually helped me give birth, because they were really nice and supportive and helped a lot. So shout out to them. But yeah, it was really hard, and after that, I'm really glad that I had like a really quick recovery. Everyone was telling me like, oh, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna have like a quick recovery and stuff like that, and I didn't believe anyone because I couldn't even walk. I couldn't sit down because I had stitches inside out. And thank God it only lasted me like a week or two to fully recover, which, wow, I'm still surprised that it was like that quickly. But yeah, that was quick, which thank God. But the first like 3 days in the hospital by myself with just me and my kid was so hard. For me, it was probably the hardest time in my life because I was so vulnerable. I just had a child. I felt like my body wasn't my body. I hated myself, and I was entering this depressive stage in my life. Like, I was going through postpartum depression, and once I got home, I just like cried a lot. I barely wanted to be around my child for a little bit. But it's weird to explain because there were days where I didn't want to be around Eloy, but then the next minute I didn't want no one else to be around him, and I just wanted to be with him. it is so weird to experience and explain it, but that's how I felt. And then another thing that I need to mention, because it was important, is the fact that I felt really guilty for everything. I felt guilty whenever I had a little moment for myself and someone else would be with him so I can have a little time to sleep or anything. I stayed, literally, this is embarrassing to say, but I stayed like 2 days, I believe, without wanting to take a shower because I felt guilty if I went into the shower and left him with someone else to take care while I go and quickly have a shower and have a little bit of time to myself in the shower, because I felt super guilty. And I don't know, it was a really weird time, and I went through that depressive postpartum for 7 months. The first 7 months of my life being in here, I just went through that depressive episode where I'd cry myself to sleep, and I just wasn't happy with a lot of things. And I think part of it is because of the situation that I was in, but also I was very new to the whole thing. I had this newborn that I felt super responsible for and that I had to like protect at all costs. And whenever I'd have a little bit time for myself where I felt like I didn't want to be around him, because I was tired or something, I felt super guilty for it and I would beat myself too much for it. I did go into therapy for a little while, but I stopped because of financial reasons. I had to cut off a lot of things a while back because of financial things, and since it's only me who... So, Ella was sleeping and he woke up now. So, say hi. Hi? No? Okay then. So, like I was saying, okay. Where do you want to go? Okay. Go over there. like I was saying, what was I saying? Anyway, so I spoke about my birth, spoke about my pregnancy, and I spoke about postpartum. Okay, let's not touch the camera. Ella, let's not touch the camera, okay? Okay. No, okay. Okay. You do you, baby. You do you. Like I was saying, one of the things, so last thing that I want to talk about is the things that I like and didn't like. So I surprisingly loved a little bit about my pregnancy. So although I went through like a really tough and depressive pregnancy with so many like stress and stuff, I did really enjoy taking, you know, all the pictures and videos so I can look back on them. And now that I look back on them, I actually do miss having my belly, watching that grow. Okay, like watching that grow and seeing him like move inside my body, it was really nice to see. I'm a person that I really enjoy. This is why I film when Ella is sleeping, because I just know I'm not going to be able to finish filming this till it's gonna start walking around. I have to go and see what it's doing. And then the front door. Where are you going? Anyway, so like I was saying, so I saw this post a long time ago. Like, it was right around when I found out that I was pregnant, and it said to not really care what people will say. People will always criticize, so post, take pictures as much as you can, and you journey in your pregnancy, because in the future it's going to be all you have. I saw this post. I can't find it anywhere so I can post there and show you, but I did see a post like that. I don't know if it was on TikTok or on Instagram, but I did see it, and it made me really think that I shouldn't care what other people have to say. You know, it's my first time being a mom, and I should film everything. And as someone who loves videography, does YouTube because for the memory to look back on and stuff, why not film my pregnancy and every little thing that I was going through? And so that's when I started filming on YouTube my pregnancy journey, a little bit of it. And I then made some home videos of him moving and stuff. and then did that whole like Kylie Jenner like video that I did, Dear Son. You know which one I'm talking about. And I look back on that video like all the time, and I miss it because I didn't really get to experience the whole like fairy tale happy pregnancy journey, but I'm really glad that I did make those videos so I can look back and see the good part of it and like the cute part of my pregnancy. And also not just for me but for Eloy himself, because in the future he's gonna want to watch my videos, see what I was like before him, during him, when I was pregnant, him at this stage in his life and stuff like that. And that's why I do what I do and why I love making videos on YouTube, so I can look back on them in the future, because you never know. The way I think is, in the future, this is all we're gonna have, pictures and videos, and so film as much as you can and save them, because like I said, it's gonna be all you have at the end. And that's why I film and why I have a YouTube channel. And at one point in my life I wanted to turn my YouTube channel into a family channel, when once I settled down, had a person, and had kids and stuff. And I was gonna originally do that with Eloy, but I don't really want him on like social media that much, and his face. Maybe when he's older there'll be more videos, but like right now, not that much. And here he is making a mess, which I have no idea what he's doing, but he's over there. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap this video up because I know I'm not gonna be able to film with him here. But yeah, so I enjoyed that part, but one of the things that I did not enjoy was breastfeeding, which is something that I always heard so much good things about it and how it's amazing and stuff. But I personally, I did not like breastfeeding. Eloy breastfeed for the first whole year. I wanted him to do at least 6 months, but he ended up doing the whole like first year breastfeeding, solely breastfeeding. And yeah. But because he was such a big, massive baby and super healthy, he did not need, like, my milk was not enough. I had really good milk, but it wasn't enough for him and for his body. So he had to do supplement for a few times during a certain time, also while breastfeeding. And then naturally, month by month, start introducing solid food. So it was very natural in terms of food. Like, he's always done really well with eating, never had trouble with anything, and that part was great. But breastfeeding, did not enjoy it. He was one of those kids that loved to bite, and he found it really funny whenever he would hurt and bite me. So I hated the whole breastfeeding part, and I think if I have a second kid, I'm probably not gonna breastfeed and probably do bottle, because I did not like the experience. There are people that like it and there are people that don't, and I didn't really like that experience. So yeah, so that's just some of the things. I might do a better video in a better time, because right now I'm in a rush with this guy. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Love you and bye.